Good morning from CME Traveling, guys. How's everybody doing this morning? I am Curt Marsha is presently getting ready. She's got a meeting, so she's getting a little more ready than usual, is what I just learned. I'm picking on her because she's just right over here. Uh, yeah, next room over, and she's still getting ready. I don't have to tell it all, do I? Yeah. But yeah, good morning. Today is July the 21st. Today is Tuesday. Thanks for being in here this morning. Thanks, everybody. Thank you if you're watching back. I always appreciate that. The views that we get in here and the comments and everything always helps so much. And thank you. So this morning, I got some iced coffee this morning. Vanilla almond coffee this morning. Thing's heavy. I swear, when you get up, I know that sounds terrible, but like with the shoulder and everything, that I had surgery on this one, hurt this one's elbow. It's heavy right there. you know, I should have fixed a little bit lighter one. Let's see if my mic's doing what it needs to do. Yep, wearing the old school shirt today. The one, the only one they've ever been. The Booze Cruise. By the way, that was back on Carnival Glory back in 2023. There ain't been none since then, and there is talk now that there could be part two, Booze Cruise, in 2028. There is talk amongst some that is, just so those out there know that. Yeah. All right. Today's subject that we're going to talk on, and I hope everybody's had a good day, had a good Monday. Hopefully it'll be passing on quickly for you. We're going to talk about, and by the way, check out the thumbnail. I had made it yesterday and forgot to put it in. I hate when I do that type of stuff. But anyway, what is the biggest downside of booking a cruise balcony cabin? Is it noise from nearby balconies? The lack of privacy, which I think they kind of run together. And, the wind, the way the wind, you can, the soot. And that's more with the aft ones I've heard. The aft, and we have never had one of these, especially the aft balconies, where we dealt with the soot. The soot would be from some of the older ships. A lot of the newer ones probably ain't going to have that kind of problem, or even salt buildup. When some of the lower ones that are down near the water can get some salt buildup sometimes. Paying, I figured this will be very popular right here. Paying more, but you pay more for that balcony, but barely using it. Some people that they don't go no other way but that way, always check out the size and stuff like that. There's some tips in here also with this that we're going to be talking about today. But just wanted to know what your thoughts are real quick, and I'm going to just go ahead and holler at a few folks. John Gaylor's in here with us this morning. DT Cruiser's in here with us this morning. Good morning, thank you. Top of the morning to you. And Cruise Life, thanks for being in here. My sister, sis, love you. Good morning. The Moonlight Adventures. Yep, that's for John a while ago. I just missed that one. It's unusual for John Gaylor. Here's someone already speaking on it this morning. Thank you so much, Josh. The return on the investment of getting a balcony is never worth it for us. We don't use it much. Yeah, I mean, for a great example, Josh was with us, and they upgraded us on Carnival Paradise to a suite that had a balcony. We did not ever use it. Number one problem there was the door. The door was it would jam. It was, you know, for, what do you call that kind of room, Marsha? Huh?
I wasn't listening to you.
Never mind, Marsha. Jeez.
I'm sorry, I was working. You know that stuff I'm supposed to do right now?
Not really. Anyway. So anyway, this room, we just never used the balcony. It boils down to that.
Oh, the obstructed view. The one.
Nope, it's still wrong. It's okay. Will G, thanks for being in here this morning. Cruising on Comps, thanks for stopping in. Controversial Cruising. Scott, good morning. And there is Bone Tired Travelers. Good morning there. Denise, hi and bye. Say hello. Okay. Kat and Matt, good morning. Thanks for popping in here this morning, saying hello. Linda Toman, thank you. And Trish said sail, working and lurking. We have Cruising is Fun Anytime popped in here this morning. Love the shirt. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was designed by Greg Welch from SCT Adventures. That was our official shirt for that cruise.
Coming soon. 2028.
2028 coming soon, huh? All right. Let's see. John Gaylor had a comment here. He said, I did not like the smoke from nearby balconies. Yeah, that's a bad one. Me and Marsha, see, one time we wouldn't go out on the balcony because the neighbors would be out there every time we'd be out there, and they were just constantly arguing. But all the time. They were very mouthy to each other. That's all I can tell you. Cruising on Comps, I've had an aft balcony on the Valor and the Sunrise, and both had pretty bad soot all over the railing and in the seats. Yeah, that's what I figured happens in a lot of these older ones, you know, like that right there. Follow the Bradley Fun, thank you so much. I just cruised on into the chat. I like that. You love balconies. You ever had any, you know, if that's what you prefer, we vary in. I really enjoy an ocean view anymore. There is a type of balcony, and some people, and we'll get to it in a little bit here. They call them veranda, or what do they call that? Where it's floor to ceiling, and it's really not a balcony. It's a part of your room, and it's just one big window. I know Josh and Chastity had one like that, but they sell it as if it's a balcony. You can have them where they're overlooking, the ocean, or you can have the same type of balcony, even though it's a window, and the window does drop. So you are standing basically in your room, but you are standing like on a balcony, but you're not out. You're not like out there on chairs or anything like that. That is sold at the same price as some balconies. It's sold as if it's an upgrade. There are some balconies even sold that way. I've seen some of these, in the Havana area. You think you're getting a balcony, and next thing you know, there are other Havana people that have access to the Havana just walking right by your area. You don't really have any privacy, and you're not all the way out at the edge, where you're going to be seeing over like a normal midship balcony type of thing. Scott, who made it home, back to work. He's already hitting it there. Thank you so much for popping in here this morning. And I didn't see where she first came in, but Danny Dizzle, good morning. Right here she's hollering at Chris, Super Ninja Mold. The Moonlight Adventures said, glad I caught a little this morning. Thank you so much, bud. Heading into the office. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Yep, me too. Marsha's listening. She should be, hopefully she got her gas before it jumps. And I told her also, to be careful this morning there. Let's see. Down South Stitcher, good morning. Thanks for popping in here this morning. And Cruising on Comp said, I think I've had probably spent a total of maybe 45 minutes collectively on my balcony when I've had them. Just not worth it. And usually ours is usually the very first day or something in the evening, or we'll step out there. I'll tell you a balcony that me and Marsha used more than any of them. I really enjoyed, and of course we were on a brand new ship and we were looking at what was going on. A balcony also can be one that's overlooking a promenade, or some of them will be overlooking a neighborhood or something like that. The downfall of them is you can look right into the other ones across from you, and you're limited in what you're going to see. You're paying for something that's a little more, but you do, you either technically you do have a balcony, but we sit out there and listen to music and everything. We actually probably use that balcony more than any other balcony we've ever been on, except for probably our very first one, maybe. And our very first cruise with a balcony was supposedly an obstructed view. Well, the obstructed view was a pole about that big that ran from the corner of the ship to the next deck above us. And the next deck above us was the Lido deck. The only other thing there, about 7:30 or 8, they would move some chairs and stuff like that. About 7 or 7:30. You didn't always hear it, but every now and then you'd hear chairs moving. But that's our own fault for booking something that's right underneath so know where you're going to. So was right underneath the Lido deck where the pool was. Yeah. Follow the Bradley said, if someone is smoking, the next balcony over sucks. I had to report my balcony neighbors. Yeah. We've done this for the same things, for smoking the lettuce there, the grass. Yeah, people think you can do it everywhere. You might as well be able to do it on there too. That's not true. Let's see. Follow the Bradleys also said, I like to be on the boat, higher up on the boat, on the ship. Yeah. And friends of ours, they was on live last night. Duff Fam Adventures, good show last night. Good morning to y'all. Let's see. John Gaylor says right here, if you don't like to hear us argue, don't book the cabin next door. Yeah. That could be people with me and Marsha sometimes, I don't know. We don't really go at it and banter so much, it's just me and her. We do a few things, I don't want to do this, you do that, that kind of stuff. Let's see. I was trying to see if anybody. Infinity balcony, a veranda. Yeah, I like those. I'm a fan of that. Of that, like an ocean view. That's what I call them. I think there should be not a balcony, but they should be more in the ocean view category. But they charge balcony prices for those. They definitely do. Cruising on Comp says, now for Alaska on the Spirit, I'll be on it. Oh, you'll be on the balcony a lot. I got you right there. I also plan on spending a ton of time on the Central Park balcony. I have on the Icon as well. It's all on what, if you who knows, you may, and I'm sure you will on the Alaska. I'm positive people, those are definitely worth it. And little note here that most balconies that are in the center of the cruise usually cost a little more because of the balance and everything. People want to be closer to the elevators. I think some of that's changed with the way they put in neighborhoods and everything on cruises now, and try to mix it up a little bit, and like as if you're in somewhere special. That's the way they make it sound. Kim and Sea Tripping with Kim and Scott. Good morning to you too. Popping in here. There's Marsha saying of CME Traveling, saying good morning to everyone that's in here. And finally, I'm down at the bottom, and Cruising on Crop says, I'm usually solo, but you might still hear me argue with myself. Hey, I've done it. I've gotten mad at my own self before. Yeah, yeah, I have. Just be like, God, tell myself off. Some other tips or whatever you might want to say like that. You know, not balconies. You really need to know. Some folks, they need to understand. Not everyone probably does the research as much as a lot of us who are in here that are big fans of cruising. There's more of them that just call up or book a cruise. They don't really do the research or anything, and they just book whatever. We were talking about those Central Park or the boardwalk or overlooking a promenade like me and Marsha had on MSC World America. Those cruise ships right there and those areas right there that don't face the ocean, you know, those are really nice if that's what you like. But just know that you're going to be looking right into someone else's, probably a few of them that you can see. I know on our very first day of MSC World America, I just sitting out on the balcony and there was a couple. They had just got in their room, and so I just sit there, and I was waving the entire time. I was waving like, hey, hey. Finally, they looked, waved back. They didn't have to wave. Now they could have just gave me a finger and moved on. And yes, everyone should know you can't think that balconies are completely private either. But some people think that right there. All right, some of the things that cruise lines won't tell you, or they don't tell you when you're booking a balcony cabin, the type of things. Some of them tell you that it is obstructed, but they don't tell you how obstructed it is. That is somewhere where you need to do the research and to look for that. Like the one me and Marsha had was just a pole. Well, there are some that I have seen where it's completely blocked by something. Just I'm trying to think. And sometimes it could be maintenance ladder overhanging. Maybe a lifeboat, the bottom of the bottom lifeboat that blocks much of the ocean view. In some cases, these obstructions, like I said, it can be minor, but they can dominate the entire balcony sight line. The cruise lines usually do not provide photos or detail or diagrams of those that what that is that's blocking you. That is true, but that's why you look here on YouTube, and like in our video, we even tell in it that it is an obstructive view. But as you see, when I'm doing a swipe of, I think we're overlooking Ocean Key, and we were on MSC Meraviglia or Divina. Anyway, you can see nothing was blocking us from being able to see anything. There are things that you can do to avoid stuff like that. You can, like we said, use Google, YouTube, Cruise Critic, some of those right there to find out something like that. That wind effect tunnel, that tunnel effect, I've seen this. I've only been on one of them where we were bothered by if we had both doors, the door you come in on, your main entrance door, and then if the door to the balcony was open, it would cause a wind tunnel, and I mean stuff would just blow around. And that can happen on there quite often. yeah, the air will just rush through, and then it can. It even can hurt your ears. I know that for a fact. Definitely that. And they've said that even sometimes you've even had folks, because it'll pull a cabinet or pull the bathroom door or anything like it, or even mostly the way it did ours was the main door you came in on to the cabin. It would pull that door right there, the suction would, and you could get your hand caught in there or something like that, or it just slap you in the head or face or whatever. We were talking about a little bit there of some of the balconies that are, they're public facing is what I guess maybe a term that they use for those. That's the ones like we were talking about where it's overlooking, like the neighborhoods and things like that. They face the promenades, the interior courtyards, active public spaces. Usually, like the one me and Marsha had on MSC World America, music would go to about 11 o'clock at night. They would be live music just down there. Never bothered us, not once. But if you are someone that probably goes to bed at 9, 10, it wasn't so loud in the room as long as the door was closed. We never really heard that, I should say. Not really, for me and Marsha. And as I was mentioning on some of the Carnival ships with the Havana cabins, I know like on Carnival Celebration is just one for an example. I was walking around, and this is the first day, and I went into that area, and I had never been into the Havana area, but they have the way they have those. Balcony cabins on some of the balcony cabins, not all of them, but they open up into semi-public deck space, is what generally what they call that. It's for those that it's not you're not going to get full seclusion, is what I'm also saying. Just something to keep in mind. It's just get the kind of cabin that you're really looking for. And then the aft facing balcony cabins. You're going to get some great views. I would think, in Alaska, those are probably some of the best ones because you're going to get both, panorama, that full view across there, being in the aft view back there. But there's other things, there's trade-offs with that. There could be the soot. That would be one that could bother you, definitely. Something like that right there. Often the balconies, the aft balconies, are a little deeper. They're made a little deeper with more spacious than standard options. And they do have those panoramic view of the wake, and that creates a perfect, it creates a really good setting there for you just to sit. That would sound nice, especially, in some of these places that you're going to go to. Sounds perfect for Alaska to me. Let's see. And at the same time, there are some drawbacks. Some of the aft balconies are shaded, partially covered, which can make the area that you're sitting in feel darker. Passengers sensitive to motion may notice that there's more of a vibration in being in an aft balcony of the section because of that's where, of course, where the motor, where the propeller, where the ship's getting pushed. One of the common issue mentioned in passengers' reviews is the that soot that can be very, very bad to breathe in, and it'll get on everything, like Chris from Cruising on Comps had said. But just kind of do your research in it, and I know a lot of folks in here do. like we said, one of the biggest things, and the answer to me, one of the best answers for today's question, what is the biggest downside of booking a cruise balcony, is probably paying more but barely using it. That's true. It really is. Now there also are some balconies that it comes down to while you might be paying more for the same exact cabin, but you need to pay attention to the categories. There can be, there's often some of the cruise lines, they'll put the categories and then they'll have subcategories labeled like 4B, 6D, 8A, and those codes, they don't reflect necessarily the size of the cabin or anything like that. Yeah, so it's a largely based on where the cabin is located on the ship. Yep. You could have two virtual identical cabins can vary in price simply because one is midship or situated on a deck considered more desirable, and one of those things can be midships are something that folks look for. A higher deck, the higher up, that's another thing that I kind of enjoy now. I'm learning that I like to be up to at least maybe up to the Lido area. If I'm going to be, whether it's interior or of course in a cabin or ocean view, if I can get up there. Most ocean views, there's not a lot of, well, there's some up that high, but pay attention to some of the terms that the cruise lines use. A deluxe ocean view cabin, or club balcony or family balcony. Pay attention to those names and stuff like that. And they sound like it's an upgrade, but you need to check out the upgrade, what you're going to get. Check out the square footage, what furnishings you're going to have in there, the bathroom layout. Maybe amenities might be different, like a spa, just because it's a spa cabin. What do you really get? Is it really worth it? Or would you be better off just go get the room that you want and then book you a week, what they call in the thermal spa? Because we've gotten the thermal spa now, I think 3 times at least, 3 or 4 times. And we've been, like I said, we've been on over 20-some cruises. And as I told you, was talking earlier about the veranda. It's probably one of my favorites to try to get. I don't have to sit out, but I do like seeing out there. There's some of them like on Royal Caribbean. They even have a video screen. Where you're looking. It's just all it is just it's a wall, and they put up a floor to ceiling video, and it reflects what's on the other side. You're seeing outside, but you're not really seeing, and you pay extra for that too. Let me see what a few folks in here are saying before I get down here at the end. I think one of the main things that you have to put up with would be a balcony. Your balcony can sometimes be only as peaceful as your neighbors can be. Like I said, we've gotten on ships and it's been very loud, or like you go out there and somebody's constantly smoking. That happened early on when it didn't tell on somebody. Nowadays, I'd just call up and tell on them. Honestly, I'd do that in a heartbeat now. Good morning there, TNT's Adventure Sea. Thank you so much for being in here. Yeah, we know what she gets for Mother's. Oh, wait a minute. I'm way off here. I should have marked back in here where I was at. How far over? Am I going over yet? I hope not. I still got a few things to read here. Good morning, Jackie. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Okay, there's where Marsha was. And Let me see where I'm at here, guys. Anfield, Lee, thanks for being in here this morning. Appreciate that very much. Marsha says, if you are rooming beside people you like, they could always open that piece up between you. That is a secret that can be done to extend the balcony so that y'all can hang out together. Well, if you really like them, that could be something you can be done. The Ahab Show. Balconies are great, but not always worth the expense. Our best balcony experience was MSC Seashore and cabin 9276. Just a pole. That's all it was. Let's see. Trish Said Sales says, John, I still plan to book the Seashore in that cabin eventually. I was so bummed I had to cancel. I'd say so. And Will from in here, he said, I really enjoy the cove balconies. That's them lower ones. We had one time. Like being that close to the water. Yeah, I've been in somebody's room, had a cove balcony on one of them cruises we've been on with some friends, and I've told Marsha that cove balcony's nice. Let's see. John says, I always search our cabin number on YouTube. Yeah, we do too, especially when there's any that I'm looking at for that right there. Let's see. Yeah, don't forget to run over to jen.cohen starting now, actually. Run over there and say good morning if y'all want to run on over there right now. I'm going to finish up this right here and be out of here in just a second right there. Let's see, Scott Smith, and tell Jen hello from us to see me traveling. I'll be right there. Let's see. Cruising on Comp says, my favorite part of the aft balcony on the Valor was watching the ship navigate back into the Mississippi. It's not anywhere near as wide as an entry point as you'd think. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. Scott McNeil says a lot of our group got cove balconies for Alaska. He just did that trip. Let's see. John Gaylor down here near the bottom right here. When we were on the Venezia, they were smoking that stuff in the main theater next to the security, and they did nothing. We went and complained about it. Security. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Guys, that is all for today. Thank y'all so much and you know, if you want to leave a comment, if you have more to say, please do. Went a little over here. Apologies to Jen, so make sure y'all tell her over there. And I do appreciate everybody popping in here, listening to me today. And we're talking a little bit about the balconies and what cruise lines tell you and don't tell you and everything. Mostly of what they don't tell you is what we were covering. Thank y'all so much for being in here. I have to click on the right stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks a lot for being with us. Bye, y'all.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head. It's me and you. Beating, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna face it, cause it only does this with